Says we're live. I believe we're live, and we're hanging out with you here in the Arctic Air Studios. It's time to have some fun tonight. A little bit of Bandwagon Wednesday for you. Hope your day is going good. We got Texas Tech, West Virginia. We've got NIL plus Congress plus the NCAA. Hilarity ensues. And then who knows what else might take place. And yes, Ask Coach Hyatt is in effect tonight. So you guys know what to do. The early arrivals, you let us know the audio is good, the video is good. You give us thumbs up, hearts. You can share that with your friends and do whatever else needs to take place tonight. And then we'll let a few more folks get in before we get on down the road. Brought to you today by South Plains College. For a lot of Red Raiders, they began their career as Texans. Whether you're just starting your collegiate career or looking for some continuing education, South Plains College in Levelland, the road to Raiderland runs through Levelland. Indeed, the talking box is on, as we're also brought to you by the Shropshire Agency in Lubbock, independent, just like West Texans. You've been working your owning your business. You've been just trying to stay afloat the last couple of years. Hey, it's probably time to take a look at your insurance as well. So give Jeff Shropshire and the crew at Shropshire a holler sometime soon, and they'll find out what you need to know. Now, if you're watching on YouTube and on Twitter X, you need to use the United Supermarkets text line 806-772-0197 to get in on your Ask Coach Hyatt questions. Bandwagon Wednesday, the ones you're on, the ones you're off, and then anything and everything else. And we will get to the quote of the day from a Kentucky Democrat in the U.S. House of Representatives. God bless the NCAA. That's all I'm going to say. Thank you for the free entertainment today. Let's do it. In 3, in 2. Good evening, West Texans. All you good, fine, friendly folks out there who wish you were. I'm Ryan Hyatt, TheRaiderland.com, the website. Start your day there every day. Get the question of the day knocked out. Tell us what you're thinking, and we'll provide you with some Raiderland hot links every morning. Little cool nuggets from around the internet, stories, tweets, and facts that we find interesting. We think you will as well. You're always welcome to comment on it and add your own in the comments section there at TheRaiderland.com. So, that's where you start your day. We're ending the day here in the Arctic Air Studios. If your air is not Arctic, call the bear. And when it gets cold, if your air is too Arctic, call the bear again. They'll heat it up. That's what they do. Heating, air. It kind of depends on the time of year, what it actually they do. But you get the idea. We mentioned the Shropshire Agency. Great people. Give them a call. And then, of course, South Plains College, one of our great sponsors. Tonight, the talking box is on. Donald's watching. CJ is watching. Ryan is watching. We welcome you all in on a Bandwagon Wednesday. This is where you tell us bandwagons you're on, bandwagons you're off. Things you support this week, things you're not supporting, things you can get behind. Are you on the Coach Prime bandwagon? Are you off this week? Or are they like 3 touchdown dogs? I think they're at Oregon. Is this where it almost crashed into reality? Well, it crashed into reality this week. So bandwagons you're on, sports or otherwise, and then the ones that you don't want to have anything to do with. Doughboy, our resident trucker in Raiderland, checking in on the United Text line. He's in Alexandria, Louisiana. They used to have a Texas-Louisiana League baseball team there, the Alexandria Aces. I may have pitched for them one year. I can't remember. YouTube a little behind. Well, we're going to have to work on that. YouTube needs to catch up. Do what we're doing. Let's see. Ask Coach Hyatt. CJ, who didn't get the memo. Are you going to play Morton if Shuck plays sloppy? Here's how Ask Coach Hyatt works for the newcomers. This got started a year ago, McGuire's first media day, which we couldn't go to. So me and Rob Rowe were in the studio, and we had to do our own thing. So it became Ask Coach Hyatt. I play the role of a generic coach. I will answer generic questions as a generic coach. I will also, if need be, answer the question again and tell you what the coach really wishes he would say. If you have a question for McGuire, or McCaslin, or Gerlich, or Tadlock, or anybody else, ask the question to them. I am not playing the role of Joey McGuire. Therefore, as a generic coach, I could not possibly answer CJ's question right there. Hi there, Troy. Hi there, Damon. Upset weekend CU over Oregon. If this happens, the end is near. I think it'll be a good game. We'll see. I do think Oregon is immensely talented. And they seem to have been laying in wait, just kind of sitting back going, all right, come on, Lance. We're not going to say anything about sunglasses or anything else, even though Dan Lanning The Oregon head coach was sounding off when Colorado announced they were going to the Big 12. He's like, I don't remember them doing anything in the Pac-12. You've been in the Pac-12. You're leaving. How can you leave? You never even came to the party. So those quotes have been recycled here lately. But we'll see. I think 21, that's a big number, man. That is a big number. I don't think I'm on that bandwagon. I'm on a three touchdown bandwagon. Is that? I need to double check. Where are we on that number today? If only there was a device. If only there was a device that allowed us to look at things and see what time, what the line was, and everything else. There we go. Come on. Scrolling up. This is always fun. Watching people look for stuff on the internet. On radio, you didn't have to watch me. I was just killing time, kind of doing what I'm doing right now, and going from there. Tech in West Virginia is a solid 6, in case anybody is wondering. There we go. Colorado, Oregon. This is 21 consensus. I see 120.5 out there, but everything else is at 21. Man, it's a big number. Michael is watching. You guys can join us on the United Supermarkets text line. Just because Texas Tech's on their own doesn't mean you can't tailgate right at your own house. They'll get you set up. It's your game day headquarters and your weekly shopping headquarters there at United Supermarkets. Let's see. Coach, do you see Texas faltering during the season? That's a great question. I do. I do see Texas faltering during the season. Yes, I do. I'm watching. Are you? Are you? Are you? Oregon by 4. 4 points or 4 touchdowns? I'll take more than 4. If I had to just cover 17, I'd be comfortable with that. 21's it's a backdoor cover waiting to happen. Tim is hanging out watching tonight. It's Ask Coach Hyatt night. It's also Bandwagon Wednesday, sports or otherwise. Bandwagons that you are on or you are off. I'm on the bandwagon of great food truck pizza coming in from Farwell tomorrow. Going to be at 98th and Frankfort at Hope Lutheran Church. The guys who own the Godfather's Pizza there in Farwell, they come in and bring their pizza in. Now, don't get me wrong. I love Domino's. Domino's is fantastic, but, a little change of pace. It's good stuff. And you're buying pizza in a church parking lot, so that's got to be something good, right? 4 points. Yeah. I think it'll be more than that. I think the closest would be maybe a touchdown. Let's see. Doughboy says, wasn't Dion on the bus? 20-point underdogs at TCU. Give me 100 on the Buffaloes to bust that spread. Troy Morton is the guy that brings excitement, and the players rally around him. Do they? Tyler looks like Dak at times, being indecisive. Give me examples of the players rallying around Morton that they don't rally around Shuck, because Shuck's had a pretty good record as a starter. We've seen some limited exposure there with Morton. I hear people say that. I'm like, okay, well, give me an example of where they lay down and die for Shuck and they rise up and they play extra good. We even had a receiver who didn't even know what the play was because of miscommunication the other day while Morton was in. Pizza in a church parking lot is better than sushi in a truck stop. I've always said that. I am on that bandwagon. 100% on that bandwagon tonight. Meanwhile, Texas Tech is going to go up to West Virginia as a 6-point favorite. And everybody this week is just kind of, what a weird week. There was great anticipation for the opener at Wyoming because it was the opener. Then Oregon. Then it was like, okay, you're 0-2. You got to do something. Got a sellout crowd. Tarleton comes in. And a lot of talk, what are we going to see? What are we going to do? And this week, once people realize that Tyler Shuck is like by far the starter for Texas Tech and everything, and that there's no desire, no indication within the camp that there's even a battle going on, let alone a quarterback controversy. Everybody's been just kind of like, okay, I guess we'll see what happens at 2:30 there at West Virginia. Darren is hanging out watching. You guys can text in on the United Supermarkets text line, 806-772-0197. Ask Coach Hyatt. Bandwagon Wednesday. Houston game a couple of years ago was with Morton, right? Nope. Coaching if you guys, that's on coaching if guys don't know what to do. Bandwagon on your shirt, like it. Boot City, one money save a mile outside the West Loop. That was Donovan Smith, who got you to the end zone and then had the clutch drive in overtime. Not drive, but clutch score in overtime to win it. Donovan Smith, good guy, good competitor. And now Houston Cougar. 230? Yeah, that's 230. I almost said tip. I was looking at my not outstanding count. What do you call a counter? Advanced planning, at a glance, 90 and 100-day planner. All right, there you go. It says it right on it. I'm like, man, I need to. It's almost time to start laying in Texas Tech basketball. Get some of those dates filled up. You ask Coach Hyatt questions, generic coach, generic questions, generic answers will be provided. We specialize in coach speak. Yes, we do. And sometimes I will answer the question and tell you what the coach really wants to say. I'll give you the coach speak, and then I'll give you what the coach really wants to say to your question. And we have that going. But yeah, this week has just been kind of like, oh, okay, there's no controversy. Tech's a touchdown favorite almost. Okay, well, guess we'll see what happens. A whole lot of wait and see. All of a sudden, this fan base, this Texas Tech fan base, is doing this wait and see thing. Well, okay, they ought to beat West Virginia. They ought to beat Houston. Looks like you can beat Baylor now. Kansas State, losing to Missouri. We all know Missouri stinks. And BYU, yeah, you should not lose a game the rest of the year. No. Still waiting on that. Last I heard. I'll double check with the legendary Don Williams, but I think we were still waiting on that one. No, hold on. Go back to that. Go to there. Hit the wrong button. You ever hit the wrong button? Sometimes I hit the wrong button. We will get to the NCAA and NIL and Congress as we go through tonight. 2-hour hearing that was a waste of American taxpayer money and the brain cells of everybody involved, except for the NCAA, which did not bring any brain cells to the proceedings. Ryan, what would Coach Hyatt say about the Alabama quarterback situation? I don't know what he'd have to say about that. You could ask him about quarterback situations. Coach Hyatt, how do you change a team from hoping to win to expecting to win? Oh, that's a great question, James. It's an everyday thing. You've got to expect to win every day. You've got to expect to win when you show up in the weight room. When you go to the dining hall, you got to eat more than everything you do. You build in a winning mentality. Everything is about winning. That you expect to win, and you don't sit there and go, hey, we're just happy to be here, and we're fortunate to be on the same field as these people. Why did we go work out in the summer? Why did we work out in August? Why did we lift all the weights? We didn't do that just to compete. We did it to win. There's a scoreboard up there for a reason. As long as there's a scoreboard, we play to win, and we expect to win. I don't care what the people in Las Vegas say. I don't care what they say on the morning talk shows. I don't care what they say at the barber shop. We expect to win. Otherwise, it would be derelict of duty for me to sit here and lead these fine young men out onto the field if I didn't expect them to win. That's a good question. Hey, Bob. The Bobs are here. Well, at least one of the Bobs. It's always good. You need some Bobs. I'm going to be disappointed someday in the future when NIL really is not that big a deal and we've reached collective bargaining agreements and everything else. And it's, basically mirrors the NFL and we get on with our lives and we go back to not worry about it. But until then, it will be the gift that keeps on giving. Donald, Coach Hyatt, Frito pie or Domino's? I would get Domino's pizza and then have some Frito pie on the side. You can have both. You could probably create a Domino's pizza that mirrored Frito pie. Hamburger pizza, get a little chili on top of that, get some onions. Okay, so the pizza itself, hamburger meat. We need some onions on that. I like the black olives too. We do that, and cheese, and then just put some Fritos on that. Smash 2 pieces together, crust out, make it a sandwich type deal. Let's see. Does Gundy retire or get fired? He'll probably quit. I think he'll retire. Then again, he may want to get paid, so he may make them fire him. But I think he'll quit. Been listening since the 1340. What's up with the Hitler mustache? I don't have a Hitler mustache. I got a Hitler mustache. Oh, it's a little darker there. It's just naturally whatever, you know. Chili could be the sauce, yeah. Oh yeah, jalapenos would work right in. Does he get Gary Patterson? I don't think so. I don't. I don't think so. Yeah, make yeah. I mean, we can. I can create just about anything in pizza form if you give me enough time. You guys can get it on the United Supermarkets text line 806-772-0197. Bandwagon, I can get on that bandwagon. Absolutely, 100%. Bandwagons, you're on. Bandwagons, you're off, sports or otherwise. Had chilly tonight. Weird because 92 doesn't feel right. Well, I mean, think of it this way, Bob. Almost all of the chili festivals and everything are in the summer. Like almost all the high profile chili things and cook-offs and all that stuff, they're all in the summer. You don't see them in the dead of winter, out on the ice house on the lake having the chili cook-off. So it's okay. Although I think we around here think of when you make chili, that it's fall or winter time. Voice is going. Voice is just not cooperating tonight. All right, I want to get into the NIL plus college plus NCAA plus Congress a little bit. On the Rangers winning the division on the way on the last day of the regular season bandwagon, I'm just surprised they're still hanging in there. Josh Young, another big day. What was he, 4 for 5? I know he had another home run. Well, there you go. On 3 NIL coverage today, the nearly 2-hour NIL hearing before the House Committee on Small Business won't inch Congress any closer to delivering the NCAA its long-sought federal bill. But remember this hearing for another reason. It highlighted precisely, they write, what some lawmakers think of the association's aggressive efforts to lobby Congress for a lifeline. All of those occurring as the NCAA confronts a collegiate model teetering on the brink of even more revolutionary transformation than the NIL ushered in 2 years ago. The final question, let's all pause for just a moment. Just a moment. Representative Morgan McGarvey, Democrat, Kentucky, asked this question to the guys from the NCAA. When you all are asking the United States government where it will literally take an act of Congress to change something once we let it out loose in the wild, is the NCAA so inept right now that this is something Congress must legislate? Spoiler alert, yes. After McGarvey asked the question, one college athletic source told On 3, quote, you could hear a pin drop. And McGarvey himself said, I'll take some of the silence as an answer. It just brutal. Brutal. When Congress is making fun of you, when Congress is making fun of you, you know you're done. Now, here's the NCAA. Does Colorado win in Eugene? No. Oregon wins and fairly easily, probably 17-20. If Congress is making fun of you, you know it's all over. When the NCAA is throwing up their hands begging for Congress to override state legislation, override courts, it's all over. So you had that. You had Chris Murphy, a Democrat out of Connecticut, talking today. I'm going to go back to the On 3 story. No one better articulated the state of play than Senator Chris Murphy, who said during Tuesday's Lead One Association meetings that he is worried about Congress micromanaging rules of endorsement deals, the transfer portal, or compensation. Quote, I would argue for the NCAA to be convening a convention right now about what a revenue sharing system would look like, to be thinking about, if not collective bargaining, a model where students actually got power. And instead of just being reactionary, which is where the industry and where the NCAA has been for decades, sort of understand that the courts are coming for the existing paradigm. Boom. End of story. That's it. Game over. NCAA, you've lost. Congress can't save you. You can only save yourself. I think the NCAA is starting to realize that they no longer matter. while desperately trying to hang on. The courts are coming. Yes, they are. You can't stop it. You can't stop NIL. You can't stop most of the transfer portal. You can't stop most of this stuff. The best thing they can do, the only thing they can do right now, is how do they want to manage the change? Now, we had an interesting deal coming out of the, what was it, the WAC? Was it somebody out of the WAC who's trying to do a college version of relegation that they use in the Premier League and in European soccer and all that sort of stuff, where teams move up and down from the top division to the bottom, depending on where you finish, and that they would have all these schools, these group of 5 teams, basically, and the worst ones would go down and the best ones would come up. It's cute. It's an idea. What's got to happen is you're going to have the top 50 or 60 teams break away from the NCAA completely on football and its own deal, and it's over here. Basketball and everything else is over here. Football operates just like the NFL. It will operate as an entity, just like the NFL. I don't sign a contract with the Dallas Cowboys. I sign an NFL contract, and I play for the Dallas Cowboys. You have a standard NFL player contract. It's just like working at Walmart in Lubbock, and they say, well, we're going to have you at this store. Now we're going to have you at this store. You work for Walmart. You can work at any of the stores. Collectively bargained within the top 50 or 60. That's the NFL. The next 50 or 60 teams. Remember, we got like 130 some odd teams playing major college football, or they are playing college football. The next 50 or 60, that's your XFL. That's your CFL. And they'll have their own collectively bargained deal. But all of this will help. But all NIL is, and once that gets taken care of, you'll still have NIL. What does Patrick Mahomes make in endorsements a year? What did Tom Brady make in endorsements? What's Travis Kelce make? What does LeBron James make? That's NIL. You get your salary, you get your NIL. Yes, they will have their own playoff, and it'll be glorious and good. And the people that care about it will care about it, and it'll be on their own level, and they'll go from there. This would happen in a heartbeat, but the NCAA is still scared to death, a lot of members, of losing the NCAA basketball tournament. Remember, the NCAA didn't control the college football playoff. That's a separate deal. The money that rolls into the NCAA is the basketball tournament. And what happened about a week ago, was it Fox who floated the idea of, who was it, Big 12, Big 10, and somebody else, I can't remember who all was involved, of saying, we could just have a 16-team tournament as well, which that is part and parcel to just the networks going, hey, we can start our own NCAA tournament too. We don't need the NCAA to put on a basketball tournament. We can just have it amongst the schools we want. So if you get a chance, go read some of the stories today. It's hilarious. Congress is looking at the NCAA. The NCAA brought out to testify on their behalf Gino Torretta, who I believe played quarterback against Texas Tech at Jones Stadium in 1990. I think he was the quarterback that day. My memory is a little hazy. I got hit in the head. Gino Torretta, who played his last snap of college football 30 some odd years before NIL. And even Gino Torretta is sitting there going, hey, we've got to admit that these guys are working for the university, and everybody within the NCAA, it's like, he's on our side. It's not helping. Yeah, the NCAA will be a loose umbrella at some point that will oversee maybe some of the Olympic sports, and that's fine. That's good. Jordan made more endorsements than he did from the NBA. Absolutely. Jack Nicklaus, more on endorsements than he'd ever won on the golf course. Arnold Palmer, same thing, not even close. Ryan, you're a contrarian. Oh, there's more to it. But I think many will be turned off by college football super leagues. I wouldn't watch if Tech doesn't make it. Yeah, you will. You will. You'll pay attention to Tech, but you'll still pay attention to it. Just like the people who said, I'll never watch another down at the NFL if blank happens. I'll never watch if they go on strike, I'll never watch another baseball game. If they do this, if they do that, and every single time I've done this for 35 years now, and every single time I've had fans calling into call-in shows and texting in and whatever in, and I'll never not. Guess what? Everybody does. They do. And you will. You will. Doughboy wants to know, so if the students play or so-called work for the university, why does the university pay the players, not outside sources? The universities will pay them. They will involve revenue sharing, collective bargain agreements, and it'll look just like professional sports. And they will get paid. They're going to have to. And then you can still get an advertising deal outside of that. But the schools, the top 50, 60 schools and whatever Super League will have a salary cap, just like the NFL has a salary cap, and you'll pay players and you're over the cap and off you go. Watch some Chiefs, the rest of the NFL. But you watch. They don't care. They don't care if you don't watch anything but the Chiefs. Chiefs come on in Lubbock, Texas. You turn on channel 13 or channel 34 or whatever it is, and you watch and you see the commercials, and that's all that matters. You don't have to watch all the NFL. You just have to watch some of the NFL. That's all. Hey. Holy cow, this show is flying by. And I am just about totally losing my voice here. The pollen alert came on my phone today. You know, it said like, pollen alert, high pollen, 9.5. Like, no crap. Of course, it is like to the last day of summer. Why would we not have high allergens and everything else? Troy Finkner on the 1340 Cafe said, no way Bob Knight will be hired at Texas Tech. I don't know if he said that. I know I said from the media room at the Big 12 basketball tournament in 2001 that Texas Tech would rue the day that they hired Bob Knight. And I got some back channel communication that afternoon telling me to watch my mouth. And I was like, whatever. And I think eventually I was proven right. Eventually. Down at Tahoka, Bulldogs. It's Eagles against Bulldogs Friday night. Ropes in Tahoka. Who will be the deciding force in the regulation of the new college Super League? I don't know. They'll come up with somebody. Bob Costas. No, I'm just kidding. No, it'll be, I mean, it'll probably be a Greg Sankey type who elevates from the SEC and then overseas and becomes the commissioner. Or they just go get a puppet like Roger Goodell. It's worked well for the NFL. So you go get a puppet. You get a lawyer. You get somebody like that, you know. Now watching the Chiefs in Lubbock this Sunday, unless you have Sunday ticket. What are they on? I don't know. Yeah, you'll have a commissioner. You'll have a president, whatever you want to call it. Antelopes and the Mules for homecoming at Abernathy. I wish them both well. I have nothing against either. And I don't want to, you know, make people mad at either one. I want a clean, good, fun game, and everybody is happy and healthy when it's over, and everybody gets home safely. One of my dogs agrees with that sentiment. A couple more minutes, ask Coach Hyatt. Bandwagon Wednesday, the ones you're on, the ones you're off. Nobody cares about Tech football at West Virginia this week. Everybody's just in a holding pattern, waiting, watching, and wondering, and mad that they can't talk about the quarterback controversy because McGuire just won't let you. Yeah, George Glavkov is not busy. He is certainly not busy. Now that it's all settled down, I am fascinated to see what comes out of the lawsuit that Oregon State and Washington State are involved in now with the Pac-12 and what the discovery process may lead to, reveal over the last year or two, emails, conversations, things that went on. You know, it looks like the Mountain West, the most logical scenario is those two schools basically kind of bring in the Mountain West and they take it over and retain the Pac-12 name. But this lawsuit is going to be really fun to watch over the next year. It'll probably take about a year for it to play out. James, if Kirby was offered a Super League commissioner office, would he take it? I don't know. Maybe. What's the pay? You know? I mean, you've had Kirby Hocutt at Texas Tech a lot longer than most college ADs stay around these days. I'm not trying to run him off. I'm just saying Texas Tech's been lucky that he's been here this long. Big 12 should let that lawsuit benefit Wazoo, Oklahoma State. Then they can come to the Big 12. Don't want them in the Big 12. Oregon State, Washington State play this Saturday. Yeah, Early preview of next year's Pac-12 championship game. I don't know if you stole that or came up with it. That's good. I don't feel sorry for them, but for Oregon State and Washington State people, I'm like, man, you guys just really didn't know, did you? I mean, ignorance is no excuse. Ignorance of the law is no excuse. I've been told numerous times. But y'all really didn't understand what was going on. You got lied to. You lived in a cocoon in a bubble out there in the whole Pac-12 After Dark hashtag, and you didn't know. And you don't have enough people to make a difference. You're just not relevant. You thought you were. You're not. Sort of like Houston. I like doing that. It drives them nuts. I made them mad on Twitter this week, and I really wasn't trying to. I was just pointing out. They enabled Larry Scott. Yeah. That's why you can't trust guys like Ray Anderson and some of these presidents that are coming in at Utah and at Arizona State in particularly. They're problematic. I don't care how good they are on the academic side. We got to get rid of them. We can't allow them. They should play zero role going forward in the Big 12. Glad you're listening out there in Lindell. Help me out, Lindell. What's the mascot for the Lindell High School there? Is it the Tigers? That doesn't sound right. What's the Lindell mascot? Can't remember. Yeah, green, white, checker, a little bit. Why not, Damon? We can talk NASCAR if you want to. You know? You guys listen to the Dell Jr. download? Y'all listen to his podcast at all? Good stuff. On Hot Links tomorrow, I rediscovered the interviews about a year ago. I can't remember. I have to double check the date. But basically, it's Billy Joe Tolliver telling stories, and he was on with a guy who does a weekend show here in town, not in town, but I mean a national show you can hear in town. I think on ESPN Radio or Fox Radio, one of those. Anyways, his name Bill Krakenberger. He had a great podcast for about a year, and he met Billy Joe through some different people with the Tahoe Celebrity Golf Tournament. So, anyways, it's about a 50-minute interview with Billy Joe telling Brett Favre stories and all sorts of different stuff. See, this is the kind of stuff you get when you get the morning hot links there at theraiderland.com. This is what you get. You get stuff that, most people aren't ever going to find. You're not going to know about. It's my job to bring you stuff like that. The Eagles. I can remember that. Ropesville Eagles, Lindell Eagles. A lot of Eagles in East Texas. Early drive down the road. You can't get from Lindell to Wascom without running into a flock of eagles, which is different from a flock of seagulls. Eagle problems. That's got to be one of the. I used to know the rankings of the popular mascot names in Texas. Eagles, I know, is right up there. Nothing wrong with that. It's just right up there. I can't say much. My high school mascot, the Mustangs, is kind of ubiquitous. I don't know how many Mustangs there are, but it's just like, I said a few years ago, it would have been really cool if when Coronado got founded. See, this is bonus too. Started. What did you found a school? I don't know. So when Coronado launched, they become the Coronado Mustangs. The school colors become red and gold. Yes, and they get to sing "Walking in a Winter Wonderland" as their fight song or school song. They take the red from Monterey and the gold from Lubbock High. That's where they get the school colors. The Mustang, obviously, the Spanish Mustang, going with the Coronado and the, the Explorer motif and everything around here. So, but I was thinking, how cool if it had been if instead of the Mustangs, it had been the Coronado Mustang. Just one. And in fact, not a horse at all. The car. The 66 Mustang. When Coronado gets started, they've got the classic era of the Mustang, that the mascot could have been a car, the Coronado Mustang. And this kind of came to fruition because in 1985 or 6 or 7, I'm trying to remember which year it was. Might have been my senior year. Proud Slayton Tiger, 1987. Coronado T-Bird, yes, the mythical bird out in El Paso. When the basketball uniforms came in, and they were really nice uniforms, and of course the shorts were really short because it's the 1980s, and across the front, Coronado, number, and then across the bottom, Mustang. They left the S off. So you were a group of one. You were a Coronado Mustang if you played basketball that year. I think that was our senior year. How cool would that have been, though? The Coronado Mustang, the car logo. I mean, we could have got in with Ford and got all sorts of really cool product placement, endorsement, NIL before anybody knew what NIL was. They really messed up, I think. Really missed out on that. And it also, it made it really easy at homecoming every year. Hey, what are we going to ride around Lowry Field in? Ragtop Mustangs, of course. Live mascot works out, yeah. All right, we got to say goodbye to the folks on Twitter and on YouTube. They go away first. We have to hit the little button that says end stream. We're doing movies this week. Do I want to end the stream? Yes. Yes, I do. All right.